Hey everyone, I'm Chef Antonia Lofaso, the head judge of the Julia Child Challenge. Let's talk about the savory souffle. It's super, super easy and it's delicious. And I always think it's a great sort of accompaniment, almost like as a cheese course to the end of your meal that could be eaten with like fruit. And I just love it so much because the beautiful egg whites mixed with the Gruyere cheese, there's a funkiness and you can really, really like taste that cheese and it's so, so good. The base of my savory souffle is a bechamel. The bechamel consists of flour, whole milk, butter, and in this bechamel, we've got just a little scratch of nutmeg and a little bit of paprika. The bechamel needs to be made ahead of time and then cooled so that we're not mixing hot ingredients into egg whites. This would be a creme anglaise or a pastry cream for a sweet application, but we're using a bechamel because this is a savory application. I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees. But we're actually gonna bake the souffle at 375. There can be no opening of the oven door because it's going to reduce the temperature inside of the oven, creating an irregulation in the flow of air, of hot air, and that rise to the souffle just won't happen. Then I wanna talk about the baking dish that you choose. So this baking dish, what we've done is actually buttered the sides generously and just dusted it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, okay? And that is so, as the souffle bakes, there's fat that allows the souffle to rise. So now we can start with the egg whites. Let's get into it. I'm just going to go ahead and add the whisk attachment, lock it into place. I've got egg whites that are go into the bowl. I'm gonna just start to stir that, a little pinch of cream of tartar. That is going to be a stabilizer to the egg white. So I'm gonna start just at a medium whisk to make sure that the egg whites break up and the cream of tartar mixes in, which it is, and then we can just let it go. So as these egg whites are going, I'm just gonna take my bechamel that's got the paprika and a little bit of nutmeg, my egg yolks. I'm gonna go ahead and mix those egg yolks into that bechamel. And once the egg yolks are mixed into the bechamel, I'm gonna get rid of my whisk. We don't want the whisk any longer because as I start to whisk any of those heavier ingredients, that bechamel and those egg yolks, I don't wanna deflate the egg white. So I'll be using a spatula for the rest of the process. See here, and you can see when I just lift my spatula in there, the egg white is very stiff. It's got a beautiful peak. It's almost like this perfect cloud in the sky. Sticks into your whisk, and it really holds its shape. So now, it's all about adding those egg whites, those beautifully whipped, stiff peak egg whites into this flavored mixture here at the bottom of the bowl. But we're not going to stir it in. We're not gonna figure eight it in. We're actually going to do sort of this rolling motion. And you can see where my hand kind of turns the whisk, right? In the circular motion. So up and over, up and over. But as I'm doing up and over with my arm, I'm also kind of doing it with my hand, like up and over, up and over. So I'm gonna take about a quarter of these egg whites and just sort of, and you can see that I'm doing it here. We're just gonna start very gently folding it in to this base. Now it's okay, this is the beginning, okay? So a little bit of these egg whites definitely become sort of like the connector of the egg whites to the base. So I'm gonna just up and over, and it does take a second to bring this together, just like that. Okay, so that this base becomes more pliable with the egg whites. And then we can go ahead and start very gently adding the rest of the egg whites to this mixture. Fluffy little clouds going into the bowl. Very, very gently. It's like you almost like want to whisper to the base of the souffle, like, come together. This is why we use the rubber spatula for a multitude of reasons, but it pulls everything right off the sides, just like that. So again, up and over. I pull everything off the side so everything is evenly mixed. Cheese goes in at the very end. And now we have everything in here. All right, I think we are there. Now this whole mixture now goes into my baking dish. Just give it a little bit of a turn and it'll kind of make it even. And now we're gonna go ahead and put it into the oven, but again, we're gonna open the oven, we're gonna close it, we're gonna reduce the temperature to 375 degrees, and then we're just gonna trust the oven to do its job. Okay, 30 minutes in the oven at 375 degrees. There's a beautiful springiness to it. You can see the beautiful Parmesan crust that's come on the outside. There's a great lift. So good. You can smell the cheese. Oh, look at that steam. So soft, so light. The beautiful flavor of the egg, the creaminess of the bechamel and that Gruyere cheese, these little crunchy bits of Parmesan cheese on the side. It's very easy to be scared of the souffle, but I have to say the more you practice it, it takes away the fear. Trust your oven, and you will make delicious, delicious, either savory or sweet soufflés. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I challenge you to go home and make some soufflés, and I would love to see them. Send me pictures of the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm gonna get back to my souffle now.